Hey, it's Giguk, and you're watching Pixel Party Pals. Woo! I got it right on my first take.
Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Giguk. Just come in to like sort stuff out for Christmas, and we've got a video called She Wants to Suck You, and we're just going to get straight into it.
It's late. Everyone you know around you is already dead asleep.
Okay.
You look at the clock and it's 3 AM, but your body for some reason is still nowhere near tired.
Yeah.
The only thing keeping you company are those two last standing mates in your Discord voice chat you've been sat in for the last 4 hours. Go watch Fullmetal Alchemist! Even you know they're going to be packing it in. There's only so much fan
That's
art
amazing.
you can post, games you can discuss,
Metroid.
Genshin memes you can share with each other before everyone runs dry.
네, 최근에는 이처럼 국민들에게
13-year-old boy spends 10,000 got a C6 hammer. Oh my god! No. Poor child.
You know you should be going to sleep, but after feeling stupidly groggy for most of the day, your dickhead brain decides now's the perfect time to be like, hey yo, where's the party at? Yo, is it time to party? So since you have nothing else to
Which
do,
is
you
just not the
decide
right
to
time
go
at all.
for a walk, and what greets you is emptiness. The streets are quiet, the only sounds you hear are the low hum of the wind and
Yeah.
the odd cricket chirping. All the homes are pitch black. Office buildings light up a room
Quite
full
peaceful.
of nobody. Street lights illuminate a path to nothingness. The roads, which are normally an area of danger and bustling traffic, is completely empty, void of any cars. You can walk in the middle of the
Barefoot?
road and no one will give a damn. Hell, you can walk, run, or cartwheel your way across for all you care. This is the only
However
time
you
own
want.
this space. No one's gonna shout at you. No one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna uphold the rules. This is a time when you are
Peace.
free.
Nice.
This is the world that Call of the Night takes place in.
Okay.
So here's a little backstory. I picked up this manga one day because I rushed in a family mart because I needed a clear file. Yes, it was the one time in my life I had use for a clear file, and I didn't have one of the fucking 100 useless ones that are sitting in my house. So I go to that section in Family Mart and I see a bunch of blank clear files for sale, and then this set. And my first thought was,
What's that from?
who is this bitch?
Yeah.
The smug grin, the cute little fangs, the smug grin, the absolute drip of some of these
The drip.
outfits, the smile that can cure depression, the smug grin. This is the kind of face I should have seen in about 100 different Discord profile pictures by
But
now.
no.
Yet I hadn't.
Interesting.
So I turn it over and see that it's a promotion for Yofuka. God, I hate reading style like this. And I didn't notice to see that it's written in a language that even my monkey brain could comprehend. Yofukashi no Uta. A
Right.
manga from the same author as the Gashikashi. So I immediately picked up the manga and started reading. Moral of the story, sometimes I try to curate the finest of anime and manga based on deep, meaningful stories.
Oh god, here we go, right, yeah.
Introspection that really impacts the people reading it. And sometimes I pick up something because I see an anime girl with a shit-eating grin. Most of the time it's the latter. Ko Yamori
Sounds about
has
right.
insomnia. Despite being a good kid with good grades, he's dissatisfied with the school life he lives, so one day he just up and decides, fuck it, I'ma stop going. Without any
okay,
responsibilities
fair
or
enough.
anything to keep him occupied during the day, he can no longer sleep, and so he decides to go on a night walk where he meets a short, sassy young girl named Nazuna who invites him to go back to sleep together. Ko, being a smart
Oh,
kid, immediately
nice.
remembers what to say when strange girls dressed like hookers at midnight ask you to come back to their place round a dark alleyway. Yes.
Yeah, of course,
Nazuna,
yeah.
though, is actually secretly a vampire, so unfortunately for Ko, she doesn't want to suck dick, she only wants to suck blood.
Ah.
And after sucking Ko, he's immediately surprised that he also doesn't turn into one. After talking, Ko actually wants to become a vampire. He sees the freedom from daytime responsibilities that Nazuna has,
Yeah.
but she reveals that he can only become a vampire if the human is actually in love with the vampire before she sucks his blood. So Ko thinks to himself,
Interesting
well,
concept, okay.
guess it's finally time to binge the entirety of Twilight.
Let's learn that
So he
stuff.
decides to try and fall in love with her, so she can turn him into a vampire. Even though by anime rules she's probably like 30 years old and Ko is 14. From the synopsis, the series
No.
is like a typical supernatural anime romance that's pretty much a dime a dozen these days. But what really drew me in about this title was just the world of nighttime itself. You think you need to get fucking isekai to a fantasy place with big tittied elf girls falling?
This is just someone that wants to chill of an evening, like, wow.
Just try walking your local streets at 3 AM. You can walk down the same street every day to go to school or work. You have this route fucking GPS into your brain. You can walk this route blindfolded if needs be, but sometimes there'll just be that one day where you stay out for a bit too long.
And it's
night
different.
time, and you decide to walk back the exact same route, but somewhere along the way, you look up and you think to yourself, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
These streets always look like this. Maybe I took a wrong turn. Was there always McDonald's there, or am I tripping? What are these Lovecraftian nightmare creatures one around that smell like 10 pints of Guinness. The real draw, of Call of the Night is seeing stories centered around this setting. Normally when I hear stories involving vampires, my initial
It's an interesting
reaction
idea
is
to just base it around that, isn't it?
I just have
Boring.
interest in the general lore of vampires, unless it happens to be a 6-foot lady who can also
Lady
smell.
Demetrius.
But
It was me all
cool
along.
to tell us stories about people that inhabit the world of nighttime. We see Ko meeting different people in the dead of night. We find out their stories, and eventually we meet other vampires who have their own approaches and beliefs of what they think it means to be, well,
A vampire.
There's
Yeah,
just
okay.
something different about seeing someone in that time of the night. You're not bound by the same social shackles you are in the daytime. Everything and everyone has a different pace to them, and this is the only manga I've seen that really conveys that same feeling of just wandering the streets in the dead of night. One of my favorite stories is when Ko bumps into an overworked, underappreciated office worker. Someone working a stressful job with an asshole boss. She finds connection with Ko over the brief respite she feels from all that during the nighttime. There's a sense of peace there that she could never find during the stressful daytime.
So,
And after walking
such
through
an
the
interesting
store
approach, I
one day
love
when
it.
Everyone was already dead asleep. She had a moment to herself when she realized, yeah, I belong here.
Yeah.
That was the freedom that she yearned for in life, and the night was the only place where she could find it. It's just small stories like this that I found myself relating to. The only thing that really rubbed me the wrong way overall was the main character acting like all these societal responsibilities he had were so overbearing that he'd rather blindly become a vampire just to escape it all. Like, bitch, you're 14 years old! The biggest responsibilities you
like-
have are getting your homework in on time, trying not to pop your first boner when Hannah from Class 9 sits next to you, and coming to terms that eating boogers is no longer a socially
I suppose maybe if he was a bit older, yeah, but
Surprisingly, though,
well,
this does get addressed as the
But
series
these-
not only explores his character, but Nazuna's
these kind of
as well.
shows appeal to all a younger
Nazuna's
audience, so it's more
really
relatable
needs
to
be a Night Walker,
have a
not
younger
vampire
character,
per se,
surely?
but a being where responsibilities mean nothing. Where you never have any engagements you need to wake up for. What does that do to a person? Now, I gotta be real for a second. I'd like to think that everything I talk about is a 10 out of 10 banger that I could recommend to anyone.
Arcane,
and
man,
everyone.
oh my god.
I mean, even I know there's only so many times I can recommend Domestic Girlfriend. Sometimes, though, I just find
Yeah.
a series that fits such a specific niche. A small niche that definitely doesn't appeal to everyone, but definitely does to me, at least. Your Fukashi no Uta isn't something that's going to appeal to everybody, or even most people. There's not so much anything that really grips you about this. It's got some interesting ideas about relationship, depression, eroticism, and youth, but it's fed to you in
Youth.
such a slow drip feed that it will definitely put a lot of people off. For me, though, that slow pacing is such a big part in how this story feels. It's laid back, it's aloof,
Chill.
it's mellow most of the time,
Chill.
exactly like the setting it takes place
Chill
in.
vibes,
Holy
like
fuck,
it.
right? That was slice of life, man. Motherfucking nighttime. Because if there's one thing this manga does beyond characters or story or romance or themes that I can't find anywhere else, it's the vibe this series emanates.
There you go, chill
And
vibe.
This is the niche that I'm talking about. I'm a responsible adult now who tries to have a healthy sleeping schedule, going to bed
Not
and waking
easy.
up at a responsible
Not easy.
times, because if I don't, I'm just not going to get any work done.
Yeah.
God, it's so boring adulting. But you know what? For the rest of my life, I've always been a night owl. I've never had trouble staying awake, and part of the reason for this was because most of my friends were online. Living in America, so my social time would generally be later than usual.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, I get
But
that.
also, there was just something so calming and soothing about the peacefulness of night. I found comfort knowing that most of society was asleep. There was no pressure to be active.
Yeah,
or
not
productive
having to
because
interact
no
with
one
people
is.
at that
You could
time
just
as well, yeah.
walk the empty streets and immerse yourself in the quietness. You felt this like kinship to any random stranger you'd see. What's their story? Why are they out in the dead of night? What led them to this time and place that really no one, like me, should be awake?
Yeah.
Finding comfort in the dead of night reminds me of a time when responsibilities aren't constantly crawling up at you. You're not stressing over something you have to be awake early for, you don't have any commitments you need to worry about, you can just do whatever you want and no one's going to be there to stop you. This is what I felt when I read this manga. There wasn't anything hugely gripping that kept me coming back, but it was just the comfort that only other fellow night owls out there would be able to understand. That's not to say that there isn't any plot or character development at all, but what I am trying to say is, it ain't the cheese or the tomato base of the pizza. It's just the extra little toppings
everything
you
else
find
on top, right,
So then
cool.
You may be wondering, what's the crust to this story? Fuck off. You know, the appeal is that I've honestly been surprised the thing already has an anime coming out next summer.
Oh, cool.
I've never seen anyone even mention this name, let alone talk about
I'm
this
gonna be
manga.
checking this out.
The PV already has 4.1 million views, which, you know what? Just look at the thumbnail. You know exactly why this got 4.1 million views.
Girls.
Look, I'm calling it now. We're about to get a huge rush of anime profile pictures with Nazuna front and center, because I swear to God, she's got the perfect face built for it.
Yep,
It's one of those
definitely.
series where I'm
Give you
sure
that
anime
smugness.
is popular enough with a small
Ooh,
but
animation is
fan base. I really
slick.
can't wait for the cool fan art we're gonna see of her.
Ah, yeah, of course,
Potentially
yeah.
Even getting an opening from Creepy Nuts. Famous brother of D's Nuts. It's been a while since I've just gone out of my way to blindly give a new title a try without any recommendation, without any prior knowledge, without any preconceptions. And you know what? It was a wonderful experience. Maybe I've just found the optimal recommendation system for new anime and manga that no one has yet discovered. Oh, hey, how do you find new anime to watch? You know, I just see what's popular on Mal or something. And what do you use? Yeah, I just see what some dickhead YouTuber recommends. What do you use then? Family Mart Clear Files. Get on my level.
Nice. Damn, that seems like a really interesting show. That's cool that the anime's coming out as well. I'll definitely be jumping onto that. That'd be another one to watch, because you know that like he's going to do a video talking about the anime as it's coming out as well. And I think just from this video, more people are going to check out the manga, and so on and so forth. So that'll be a good discussion for next year. That does seem really interesting. It's such a weird like thing to just go, right, let's just base it at nighttime. Like, you know, instead of like, what magical world are we going to go into this time? It's like, let's just have a nice chill vibe that seems different because it's not normal. And it's just like, huh, cool. I like that. And I like the whole, well, I want to be a vampire, so I'm going to have to learn to love you to turn into one. And it's like, interesting concept. Cool. So, yeah. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video upload, links in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. All right, guys. Nick down.